Yeah, we're here for the Isle of Raasay, which has been a distillery that's been on my radar for a couple of years. And like all new distilleries, our access to spirit has been limited for some time. But we happened to run into a shelf full of Raasay expressions and thought this would be a good time to delve more deeper into the spirit and find out what they're doing at this Hebridean distillery. So here we are. Um, this distillery is owned by R&B Distillers, which is a small, very small and independent company. It's founded by its master blender, Alistair Day and Bill Doby. They kind of headed the whole idea and program. And from the very beginning, they knew that they were going to have to do something different. And the different that they chose is experimenting with a new oak species. And that's sort of their DNA right now is experimenting with new varieties of oak from all over the world because they're going to have to come out of the bat with something exciting very young. So that's what we're going to be exploring a bit today. Founded in 2017, there's not a lot of whiskey, as mentioned, in the market, but they do have a nice range of cask strength options for me, which I'm happy about. As a new distillery, it's nice to see some high proof right out of the gate. So um, awesome. Evan's going to share screens for me because I'm terrible at digital multitasking. Um, as you can see here, it's located on the Hebridean Isles, just, I believe, 25-minute ferry ride away from the Isle of Skye. So possibly convenient if you're planning a trip to visit the west coast of Scotland. So beautiful distillery here. It is the first legal distillery on the Isle of Raasay since about 1850, possibly longer. Obviously, plenty of illegal distillation happened in between those days. Notable about this island is a very, very small population. Marked on every bottle is the population 161, and that was recently part of the 2023 census. So hopefully we'll see that number changing as the years go on and families are able to stay on the island and um, grow their families. But in the meantime, the distillery is currently, I think, it's employing about 13% of the island, which is pretty cool. That's just the distillery. They do have one hotel, 3 bed and breakfasts, a shop, a primary school, and of course the distillery. But for a long time, I think a lot of the locals were afraid that they were all going to have to leave. So this distillery is good for them and it's good for us. Um, but let's jump into our first whiskey, shall we? And just find out what they are making. And we're going to start with their single malt. It's their first core release. They've renamed it since we've seen it on our shelves. It's just called Isle of Raasay, but they're now calling it the Dram with 2 A's. So if you ever see that bottle, it's their core release, which is a blend of 6 different casks or 6 different cask types. Um, it's also a mix of 2 different spirit types, a peated and unpeated spirit.
Yeah, and this was actually in our 2022 whiskey calendar, way back when the Isle of Raasay single malt, when they first started releasing it, we were able to get mini bottles of it, thanks to the importer, who is it's Gold Medal Marketing, which is Andy Dunn.
Yeah.
Andy Dunn has been a big fan and supporter of Raasay Distilleries. Actually, there's a couple of his own single casks that he had filled from New Make Spirit, that are in this lineup that he's had bottled for the market as well.
Yeah. I really, part of me really wanted to open up some of those minis and
Yeah.
put them in this lineup just to compare the difference between those 2 bottlings.
Mhm.
Even though I'm sure Alistair is very consistent at blending. I mean, there are some of us that can I mean, we feel like we pick out differences even
Yeah.
in the biggest brand releases. I know we've just talked about it not too long
Mhm.
ago, how the new release of Glenmorangie G12 La Santa feels richer and better than the last time we tried it.
Yeah.
So next time, I
Y-
guess.
Yeah, especially with a distillery that's like pumping out maybe 200,000 liters a year. Definitely not huge in scale. There's definitely going to be some bottle variation. Uh, I would hopefully we'll be able to hold one of these back and revisit it again when we do get the dram, or
The
however we want to
dram.
say it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, this is a pretty good little spirit. It's got tons of
yeah.
dark fruit to it. Nice soft peat.
It's got a little bit of that cheesy funk that I really enjoy out of Ardnamurchan and Springbank as well.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. It's got like a sour porridge kind of note to it, like a little
Hmm.
malty soggy oats.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
lovely to.
The porridge itself is fermenting.
Hmm.
Yeah, the peat comes out a bit more on the palate versus the nose, at least on first sip for me.
Oh yeah, for me as well. Even the first sip, it's not overly peaty. I find it's like a very nice kind of salty smoke.
Hmm.
A little bit. It's very temperate and very approachable whiskey. But first sip and second were quite different.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when we had this, pardon me, in the whiskey calendar back in 2022 that I really enjoyed it. Uh, it's it's not a distillery that I've kind of gone back and visited a lot, so that's one of the reasons I was pretty excited to run through this lineup tonight with you.
Yeah, I've tried a good amount of them. I just enjoy trying them, but I've only owned one bottle and it's the core. Just that
Cool.
core every day. But I've always enjoyed going back to it. And yes, as you know, I like to encourage people to buy the minis that are still kicking around because A, they're beautiful. If you ever
Mhm.
see a Raasay bottling, um they have this beautiful like fossilized
Yeah.
bubbly glass to them, and that's literally from the shores where they found that fossil, and they made a mold of it, and they kind of put the island right on the bottle and in the bottle for anybody who picks one up. You get to really kind of take you there through the bottle experience, and I think it's really pretty.
Mhm.
And yeah. Evan, do you have a photo of the three barrels that are on the label, the first label?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see if I can find that.
So,
Well, I'll skip back through this while we're
yeah.
doing that here. So this is the talking about making the bottle as well itself and what went through doing that. But let's see here. I think we've got some stuff on the casks here.
So we're really
So
used to
this,
like the American oak and the sherry oak casks in the most of the
mhm,
Scottish world, but with Raasay, they're doing things differently. And not only are they experimenting with both styles of peat, which I think, sorry, malt, peated and unpeated, which I think is becoming more common. They're doing their oak very differently, and that's intentional. And the first cask that we've talked about, and maybe this is why Andrew's not here, is because this is a trigger cask. It's the Chinkapin oak cask, um, which I've learned or read for a long time. It was harvested, kind of cultivated along with the standard American oak, and was just staved into your traditional bourbon barrel. And that's just kind of what it was. But doing a little bit of research, I found out that the Chinkapin oak is actually a yellow chestnut type wood. And it's more closely related visually to a chestnut tree than an American oak tree. But they both have white oak, which upon looking at the stump of it would be very similar. But the profile that it offers, it leans better for what Day is trying to achieve in his like very robust, very clean, clear spirit. It's going to lean to adding a little bit more dark fruit and spice to his spirit, which is what he's going
Yeah.
for.
One of the cool things about this lineup is we're starting with something that's the lowest ABV is 46.4% alcohol. It's almost like we're doing a Scotch Malt Whisky Society tasting for the rest of it, where we kind of go into 4 of the next 6 bottles. 4? Yeah, 4 of the next 6 bottles are north of 60% in alcohol, including the next one, which is the Raasay NaSia Unpeated Ex-Rye cask. And that kind of lets us talk about one of the other casks that they're focusing on here.
So, and when you see NaSia on a Raasay label, that is a specifically a single oak species release. So you're not going to be blending different cask types together. So for this one, it says Ex-Rye, all the distillate matured in Ex-Rye, whether it's a single barrel or not. They're not blending cask types together. So you can essentially kind of, hopefully the idea is that we can explore the DNA of each cask that makes the single malt, which is really cool. But this is also unpeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, let's see if I can get to the next one here. There we go. So this is what they're typically talking about for an Ex-Rye cask. It is a cask that used to hold American rye whiskey, made typically from Quercus alba, which is the typical American oak staves, I believe. And I think at least originally, I don't know if they're still doing this, but yeah, it does say that Ex-Rye whiskey cask from Woodford Reserve, which is interesting because in trying Woodford Reserve in the past, their rye whiskey is, I mean, the rye is there, but it's not over the top compared to others.
A sweet rye.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like very tame, pretty rye, but.
Do you get any of the rye notes on there?
I get spices, but it's more like black pepper. Nathan's giving the thumbs up, big spice.
It does have just and maybe it's because I'm looking for it, but it has a bit of this sort of like grapefruit and sort of like lemon lime jujube, sort of candied citrus note that I get on rye.
Very cool. I'm getting the cinnamon and I'm getting like melon fruit for some reason here.
That's a good call. It still has a little bit of that underlying, maybe it's Dunnage Warehouse notes, but a touch of that cheesy note that I was getting in the Raasay single malt #1 there.
The palate is so juicy. Like it's really nice. It's you definitely get a lot of spice. You get that kind of rye toastiness. But oh yeah, I'm salivating from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got this tanginess that kind of makes your mouth water, doesn't it?
It's got
almost
a nice
touch of acidity.
I was gonna say it's got like a bright acidity to it that's just really enjoyable.
There's just a touch of like dog biscuits, dog treats on the nose as well for me.
I was feeling licorice, but your notes are valid.
One person's licorice is another person's dog treat, I guess, as they say.
Yes.
It's like quite drinkable for 61.4%, I believe it is.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree. I can't believe it's actually that strong. I know you told us going in they were going to be, around 60, but it does not feel that way. It's a really pretty cask. I can see why Andy chose it for Alberta. Like it's very refreshing. I wish I had this earlier in the summer. There's still time.
So this is the bottle. You can see based on if you have all of them poured in front of you, like I do, you can see this is pretty much the palest of the spirits in the glass as well.
Yeah.
That Ex-Rye cask is imparting as much color as some of the Bordeaux and Virgin Oak Chink or Virgin Chinkapin casks that we're going to be seeing after this in the sherry, but does seem to impart a decent amount of flavor even on an unpeated spirit.
Hmm. It's really it has a spiciness to it and a
Yeah,
depth to it underneath all that kind of fruit and citrus that for a moment I thought, could this be peated? Just like a
yeah,
hint, just because of all that depth and smoke or
yeah.
spice. Pardon me.
Spice for sure. Yeah, and Sam Sahiri says definitely get cinnamon here. That's not usually the spice you get with rye, but same vein.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
call.
Well, that's a really great bottle. I
Mhm.
was going to say, do we have any other unpeated whiskeys in the lineup? I'm just curious to try more, but we'll just have to wait for more whiskey, I guess.
That's right.
Um, yeah. And the next one that we have is a single oak expression, the Chinkapin oak, but now we're looking at a heavily peated uh, spirit. Spirit.
Yeah, I'll bring that one up here.
Definitely like darker, leaning into those like bourbon colored territory where it's just
Mhm.
like a lot of caramel in color.
So yeah, 61.5%, I guess, was the one we did, and this one is a 61.4 next, if I have everything written down correctly here.
Cool.
And the Latin names for the style of oak or would get harder and harder to pronounce as we get through this. Not just
Yeah.
because of the whiskey. They just seem to
Uh,
add more eyes and in stuff and more vowels everywhere.
yeah. So the Chinkapin oak is called Quercus Muhlenbergii.
Nice. That is
Quercus.
far better than I would have done.
I had to write it like it sounds. Yeah, Muhlenbergii is how you say it. But yeah, it's type of white oak or yellow chestnut oak.
Mhm.
And we've seen it before, as I mentioned about earlier in the week, actually. We Glen Alecky did a Chinkapin oak cask that was quite
Yeah.
lovely, and they put a heavily peated spirit in that as well. So if you remember that, this I mean, make mental notes and you can compare them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The there's definitely peat on the nose, but it's not like just jumping out of the glass. It's a little bit more tightly wound and a bit of minerality in there, maybe.
It reminds me of like trying to make toast on a campfire.
Yeah, that's a good call. A touch of like antiseptic coastal notes coming through there.
Yeah, yeah. Austin says has lemon pledge solvent notes.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I was almost thinking toothpaste in style on the nose.
Well, that would answer Tom's menthol notes question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get that little hint of mint there.
Yeah. Or maybe saying not menthol notes, but mental notes. Still has a bit of that. Maybe you get it as licorice, but I get it as dog biscuits again on the nose.
What brand of dog biscuits, Evan?
See, I'm not a dog owner. I'm
This
allergic to
is
it,
why I'm
but
wondering about
yeah,
these biscuits.
I'm going like milk bone, the ones that are look like bones and they have the different colored dyes that they put them in
Oh,
them.
yes.
These are old school. Those are the ones I used to eat when I was a toddler, apparently. So that's the one I have uh, the strongest memory of, and that's why my teeth are so shiny and white as well, I
That's
think.
right. Evan still counts himself as a kid today, which is why he's still eating those milk bones. Uh,
Really nice palette. Almost goes into this ashiness. Heavily, heavily coastal.
oh yeah. And
Those
you know what
fruit
has
notes
it
still there.
reminds me of some mezcals that I've tried.
Yeah, that's a good call.
It's just like there's like an agave Just as you like inhale after taking your first sip, I get this like smoked agave note.
Yeah. Still has that menthol note, that cooling note, but it has that mezcal like funk to the
Hmm.
smoke as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I finally get your cheesy notes a little bit more here with the peat.
Yeah. Tom, how long is your please purchase list at this point? That sounds about right. So not unheard of in the realm of whiskey drinkers, then. I think you're right on par.
Do you share that
Hmm.
list? Is it like an Amazon share list or is it just for
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah, that's right.
I feel like you gotta make it public so people can send it
Yeah.
to you. It's like
This
add it
is this
to
is
the
what we need to
document.
do to our website is make that Amazon wish list a thing.
Could be fun.
Yeah.
I actually really like this peated spirit. It's
Yeah.
it's not as expressive, I don't think, as the unpeated. Um,
Yeah.
but I like its coastal ashy dryness that it has, and it, I don't know, I feel very warm inside.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, Tom, I think along that wish list line, we'd almost have to make them encrypted because there's so many spouses that would like find the list out in the wild, and that would just lead to many problems. Yeah. Nathan thinks he's be okay. Ross and Christy Galbraith are probably okay as well, but some of us would get in trouble. Uh, Tom says it's not Coldplay tickets. That's a fair point.
mm,
This one does take nicely to water. This is the first one I've added water to.
oh,
Not
dairy.
because I felt like it was over the top. I just wanted to see if anything changed with it.
I will join you with one drop.
Yeah. It's just a touch softer on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
A
Would you
lot of the
say it's,
notes stay there though.
I was gonna say I get more like plums and cherry, like
Mm,
black cherry, blackberry notes with the
yeah,
water
that's a
that
good
I
call.
didn't get before, just on the nose.
Yeah. It gets a bit of that tanginess that I really enjoyed in the unpeated Ex-Rye cask previously too, with a bit of water. Makes the mouth water just a touch more. It's not as drying as I found without it.
You're right. Yeah. It's curious to know if that would happen over time, just in the glass or if it needs that
Mhm.
push, but it does. It has a really like a nice profile to the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that Harmony and I quickly talked about before uh, we jumped into the tasting here was how difficult it is for young distilleries to kind of differentiate themselves and set themselves apart. And I think the wood program, as Harmony has been talking about, is the thing that Raasay has really sort of like made a thing of that a lot of other places and distilleries have not. With their different cask program of sticking to the 6 different styles of casks when you have the unpeated and peated whiskey in there as well. Um, and you can really kind of see the range of what they're capable of doing, even just 3 glasses in so far.
Yeah. I mean, if you have to come out of the bat with something young, um,
Hmm.
there's no point in trying to do another Kalila or a heavily sherried something that's been done.
Yeah.
So I think um, doing something different, experimenting with smaller cask types, it's not
Hmm.
necessarily a bad way to go. And as you said earlier in our conversation, if they can do that well and show the consistency of the spirit and the creativity that can be made with using just those and have themselves stand apart in a world that's dominated by sherry, then they've definitely done something notable, and then they'll have a consumer base behind them if they ever decide to
Yeah.
change gears and do something a little bit more unique for them.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Um, well, speaking of more over the top of sherry, let's go into the sherry quarter cask and see how that changes things.
Right. So we've heard of sherry. Sherry is not new, but the quarter cask is new. We don't hear a lot about sherry quarter casks. So this is something specifically requested by them to use for the spirit. I just spilled my whiskey out of my glass. So sad. Can't read my notes now, but they smell good. Yeah, so sherry quarter casks bottled. This one's bottled at 52%. Now this starts out its life in Ex-Rye casks. It matures in those barrels and for quite some time. I wrote it down somewhere, but now I don't remember. And then the spirit gets divided out of those rye casks and put into PX and Oloroso quarter casks. And again, does a final maturation in those casks. Before then, they're all married back together. It rests for 2 days and then it's bottled. Definitely a different approach to working with sherry.
Yeah, and then Cana, I believe, is the name of the mountain on Raasay. That's the sort of the water source. It's where the water comes down into the water source for the Isle of Raasay distillery, and probably for most of the island, is my
Yeah,
guess.
it is. It goes into an underground well, and the whole island basically lives off of it. I would say that distillery probably owns a lot of that water now, or
Hmm.
at least is asking very nicely to use it.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's the river or the well. It's called the Well of the Pale Cow. Don't ask me to say it in Gaelic. I don't know, but it's a very nice well.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I did read something about so probably called the Well of the Pale Cow because going back in time, sort of albino or white or pale cows would have been considered good luck when they were born.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, their water, I mean, everybody claims that, and there must be some truth to it. A lot of the smaller distilleries are very proud of their water source and they claim either like very high minerality or sediments or filtration through this source or another. This is no different. They feel it's very mineral rich water, which adds to the character throughout all of the stages of production because they use it for fermentation, they use it in the mashing, they use it distilling and for cask reduction and just before and rinsing their bottles even at the bottling stage. So their water does come in contact with the spirit a lot. They're not, other than like purifying it for sanitary reasons, they're not adding any like other decalcification processes to their water as far as I know. They're trying to keep it as unchanged as it can be.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's hard to say what it does because they don't add any to a lot of these. We're getting
Yeah,
these straight up cast strength, but I do feel like so far in all three, there is this like really nice coastal influence
big
there.
time.
Yeah.
Well,
And sorry,
it could
we didn't
be.
talk about it, and maybe I'll
Mhm.
save it for the rest, but they are using locally sourced peat as well. So that
Mhm.
also, I think, adds to the profile.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Definitely that. There seems to be a little bit of like an iron filings note to this one on the nose for me, along with that coastal note. Sam Sahiri says rich and buttery butterscotch on the nose, so good. It does have a lot of that and
Mhm.
some touches of dried fruits coming in there, almost going into barbecue notes, but not like the full-on barbecue notes that you get on some big sherry Kalilas.
No, I see what you mean. It's a little bit softer. It still has this like wet beechwood note to it as well, which
Yeah,
is nice. But I can still get those sherry fruit notes that come through.
yeah,
But it reminds me a little bit like if I had to guess the sherry profile, you might trick me and I might say like Glenfarclas, um,
yeah.
with its style. Like it's very new make driven on the nose,
Mhm.
and that's something that Glenfarclas likes to do and to keep that in. But
Yeah, it does have just a touch of that steep tea note that I get on a lot of Uh, some of the main line of Glenfarclas, but especially the family cask line, when we get to try those.
Yeah.
Tom Rand asking, does all of the Raasay whiskey stay on Raasay for aging?
Yes, yes. At the moment, it does. They are not
Yep.
big enough to need more space on the island. So I think currently they have 3 or 4 warehouses where they're maturing everything.
Mhm.
I think Evan might have a photo of the property, and you can see the lands,
Yeah.
the maturation warehouses down closest to the water. The distillery is a little bit further in, and then they have a beautiful bed and breakfast and restaurant uh, where I think there are 6 rooms, so book ahead, and you can stay on the island. But yeah, there's not a I don't think they're fighting for space, but I just don't think they have the need right now to do anything elsewhere. And it would take away, I think, from that beauty, that romantic story of it all being Raasay um, produced if they had to ship it somewhere else. But also, this is
Yeah.
the hotel being built.
Yeah. Sorry, it's going through a slideshow and I'm trying to stop it now.
That's okay.
Um,
This is the ferry from Skye
yeah.
to
Yeah. The two,
Raasay.
yeah, I just saved a couple of Andrew's shots here. Let me see. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, I'm sure
So
Andrew had some hijinks on the boat that he should be sharing with us. But
absolutely. So yeah, this is the Raasay Distillery proper, and you can't see it from this angle, but up beyond here is there's at least one warehouse, probably more warehouses built back there. They also do their own bottling, so they do everything, pretty much everything except for grow all the barley, I think, on the island,
which they're
and do
working
their own malting.
at.
Yeah.
They are working at that. Yeah.
So
In
there's
an
the interior
article,
there.
in the article you shared with me today, they said that they have a farm that's growing barley for them, and they're currently in their 3rd season of barley growth.
Yeah.
So there's figuring it out. I don't know what that means for them, like chemically, like how do you
Mhm.
test barley to know when it's ready? But
Yeah, and they were doing experiments at least. So they've been around since 2017, and in 28, starting in 2018, they were doing experiments with different barley types to see what would grow best in the very short growing season that they have on the island.
sounds like a heritage grain project where you have to
Yeah,
like go to a library and pick it out of a book and just like cultivate the little seeds every
yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah. There were it was Concerto was one, Beer Barley, Golden Promise, and then a couple others that I didn't recognize the names of, but
Cool.
definitely some stuff that's been used prior to now that has fallen by the wayside on the mainland.
Do you have more photos? I'm curious.
Uh, that was all the ones that I had from Andrew, but I'll share this one just because I love this photo that they did for. I think they did this for the distillery, and then we can. There's a couple more on the site. Just give me a second here. What do you think of this sherry quarter cask?
I love it. I think the
Yeah,
fruit is just right. The sherry doesn't overpower it, the whiskey.
yeah.
Um,
I love this photo. It looks like a model, like this miniature that you have built. It's like straight out of Beetlejuice, the beginning of the movie. But it's just has to do with the camera effect that they have going on here. But it makes it look like these are tiny Hot Wheels cars or micro machines down there as well. Uh, so yeah, you can see back here that that's where the land is for putting in more warehouses and such as they go by. There are a few more pretty good shots in here of this is looking out from the still room to the Isle of Skye, and then this is Raasay, the small town that's on there that the distillery is not too far away from, which is cool. And then they do have like a not a B&B, but like a hotel room built right into the distillery that you can rent as well.
that's
And
cool.
their gin, which we don't have in at the moment, but we have carried in the past.
Mhm. The The whiskey reminds me like a little bit of like a cherry, like cherry rhubarb pie, but you put too much salt in the crust and it leaves you with this like saltiness. Not
Yeah,
unpleasant, just a touch, just enough that you're like,
yeah,
is it supposed to be salty?
yeah. Almost like you got it like it's just a slight tunk of baking soda in with it.
But I like how there's like this nice stewed fruit happening. I still get the
Yeah.
cinnamon notes from this.
Yeah, I like the style. It's just like a slightly more sherried and slightly more amped up version of the regular single malt without
Hmm.
going into the more idiosyncratic style of the last two.
Hmm. Yeah. I think, and I think it speaks to the whiskey world and just what they want to see right now, and not so much for the creativity of the distillery, because of all the whiskeys they've made, this Cana has won the most accolades. And I think it's because people are familiar with sherry and they like sherry. It's also very good, but I just don't think it gets people as excited in Scotland to say, here's our peated Ex-Rye
Yeah,
single malt, right?
that's
But
right.
it's very good. I still
Mhm.
like it.
Well, let's
Hmm.
see if this the next one, the cast strength release, holds up to that.
And it's bottled at 61.3. Okay.
Hmm.
They have a theme here, nothing over 62.
Yep. Yeah, that'd just be going too high.
That's too much. Mm.
So
The
yeah, this
nose,
is, I think we're still on the 2024 version of cast strength, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Uh, Combo of Ex-Rye casks, ex-Bordeaux red wine casks, and ex-virgin Chinkapin oak.
Hmm. So that's the other cask we haven't talked about yet is the ex-Bordeaux red wine. So that is the third cask that they're going to be using uh, in their core, and of course in the single malt version of it in the dram. And yeah, I mean it's not unheard of. Think more distilleries I think are using Bordeaux casks. Um, they're still a decent size. They're the same size as the sherry cask for the most part, like 225 starting or larger. So um, it's a start, I guess. I guess I don't know. Is it Bordeaux just because they're close that everybody's going to, and because they have a really good reputation for wine, or is there um a
It could
reason
be.
why they
I
want
think they
French
actually
oak?
started. I think they started by with one Italian winemaker getting their stuff. But maybe that fell through, or maybe they found that it just didn't work quite the way they wanted it, or maybe they just didn't have the supply to keep it up. So they've gone to just calling it going for a Bordeaux cask, which is not coming from, at least not coming from one single winery that they're naming. Whether it does or not, who knows? Um,
I mean,
but
they're
yeah,
pretty barrels. They got that pretty pink stripe down the middle.
yeah,
So
that you
yeah,
can tell that barrel has either been uh, painted with a light red paint or it's been well tasted from over time.
yeah, possibly. Um,
What do you get on the nose on this
hmm.
one? I do get just a touch of like it is does have some winey notes and almost into a slight balsamic note. Balsamic meets just a touch of like nail polish or acetone.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that balsamic note for sure, but it's reaching more for that red eraser, your pencil
Oh,
eraser.
hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
There's like a slight rubberiness to it. Peppers,
Hmm.
spices.
Peppers is a good call. Yeah, almost into like roasted red peppers.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Mm, pretty good palate.
Yeah, it's got a nice palate.
Lots of red fruit notes, a little bit drying. Definitely some more spice coming through there. Still gets a bit of that roasted red pepper, almost into like a red pepper paste note for me.
Mhm.
Touch of like tomato paste pizza sauce going on in there as well. A little bit of basil.
Basil I get. It's got a nice like tannin mouth feel to it. Like it's a nice balance, I think, of those rye
Hmm.
spices and the tannins from the red wine. Like
Good call.
it's a little bit drying on the tongue.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, not quite leathery. It's still like I was afraid that maybe it would be ashier having that first one at cast strength, but I don't feel
Yeah,
like it's ashier. I feel like it's toasted oak more
yeah,
so than ashy.
agreed. I've added a few drops just to see what would happen. Sometimes that's
Yeah.
dangerous territory when it comes to red wine casks.
Well, I mean, this is still a blend. We're still blending an unpeated rye, a peated rye, an unpeated
Hmm.
chinkapin, a peated chinkapin, and then an unpeated red wine and a peated red wine. And that's the blend
Yep.
that they use. So, I mean, I obviously adding water could maybe make different casks stand out differently, which is why they probably
Hmm.
choose to bottle at cask strength they do.
Water does not hurt it, in my opinion.
Mm.
Um, I thought it might
Well,
go astringent with those wine casks, but not at all, at least not for me. Gets a bit more expressive on the nose with some more red fruit and orchard fruits coming through, almost like a strawberry compote,
cool.
and just like a touch of like marmalade in there as well for me.
I could see the marmalade notes. Like there's like this um
That's a good one.
pulp kind of like dryness to it
Yeah,
that you could get from oranges or even grapefruit, as you mentioned on the very first one, grapefruit. But
that one.
I like that.
That's a really good dram. Quite like that one a lot.
Mhm. I gotta mark the and he owes me a bottle. I gotta make notes.
Yeah,
I told him
Andy, this is the one. Yeah,
I said I would tell you I'll tell you after the tasting.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how the votes go on this one because there's everything's concentrated really, really nicely, but there is like a variety of flavors coming through, which is cool with these
Hmm.
different drams.
And I already just went back to nose one compared to
Yeah,
five because they're the exact same spirit, just
yep,
different water. Um, and one is already so different. Uh,
yeah,
just incredibly, I'm excited to go back. I'm not rushing, but I'm excited.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I can see where you're going with that. Even nose wise, like of course, being lower alcohol, it's a lot softer, but it's going kind of going into these tapioca notes for me.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, let's go before we go around the horn again. Let's go on to number 6.
Yeah. So
Going
numbers.
into another type of rye or another type of cask here.
Yeah. So this is the Quercus Humboldtii oak. um, which, if I'm not mistaken, comes from Colombia. So I've never seen one of these before. So we're looking at Colombian oak. And truly, I have no idea what that means. Like, I don't know what this is going to
Yep.
do, what it means to to the distiller. The master distiller, Alistair Day, has a botany background, and he was quoted that this is why I want to do this like species project so that I can like use that certificate, say he
Cool.
has it and actually use it while making whiskey, which is hella cool. So
Yep.
yeah, so this is where he kind of came up with like, if I'm gonna have these really short fat stills, make this big distillate, I'm gonna have a really long fermentation time. I'm gonna make my cuts super, super tight. And I'm only ever gonna pull off clear new make, no cloudiness. I'm gonna use that and know that with this yeast and this process, my new make is gonna taste like A. And so I need casks with different grain widths and depths to give the spirit what I need over time. And it's that botany background that allows him to know that this cask is going to allow me to do this flavor in a 3-year span, because that's their goal, is to
Yep.
put out good whiskey at 3 years.
Yep.
And apparently this was one of those casks that was chosen for that job. So let's see how is it?
Yep. Yeah, it makes like this is where their cast program totally makes sense with having sort of like a very quick and aggressive, but also flavorful influence on their spirit at a young age. I mean, every distillery needs that when they're coming out of the gates. You can't just make all your money back with gin and tourism, especially if you're on an island with a population of 161. Um, but they've done a really good job with this cask program and doing these different casks, and they've actually done a really good job, from what I've heard too, with getting cask and like people to select and buy casks for private casking and just age them and have them bottled when they're ready. I know there's a few different whiskey clubs and clubs in Alberta that have selected casks that they're just waiting to uh, reach maturity, or what they feel is maturity. And then we've seen the stuff like as we have from Andy Dunn, where he's already bottled some casks that he's purchased.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, so far so good. The nose on this immediately invoked Christmas trees and sticky sap. Um,
Ah,
Also like packing tape, like you're wrapping
yeah,
presents and you got that sticky tape on your fingers.
yeah, that's a good call. It is the most sort of like pine or and citrus driven bottling so far, I'd say.
Yeah, citrus is a good note too.
And that packing tape note is all over the place.
Yeah. Um, you know the I don't like them. There's like a purple licorice in the pull and peel. I
Hmm.
don't know what the flavor is. I just know I prefer the regular pull and peel.
Yeah.
It smells like the
think it's
purple.
I think it's meant to be grape, but I could be
I
wrong.
don't think it's grape. It's like a grayish
Yeah.
purple.
Grape.
Gray.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of like how chemical the nose is
It's got like a touch of
for
like
me.
just clay going into modeling clay just a bit in there, or
Starting to get
plasticine for me.
starting to get some fruit underneath.
Hmm. It does have I'm getting grapes and plums
It's got a
personally in
nice
there.
mineral note to the nose. All right.
Hmm. Man, 60.1% and like soft on the palate almost for me right now.
Oh, you're freezing on us, Evan.
I
Oh,
I,
it's me.
I
It's freezing.
think it might be your end,
Um,
but hopefully you come back
cool.
to us. We can still hear you. I'm gonna try this one with a bit of water just for kicks. Maybe it's because it's more on the unpeated side of things. This is a little bit softer now for me. Still get a lot of that like modeling clay note and a touch of plasticine still on the nose with water. Yeah, that soft fruitiness is really cool. Just a touch of that cheesiness again, almost going into like a cranberry boursin for me right now. And did we Harmony? Are you still there? You just got to unmute, I think.
Cool. I'm back.
Yep, I think your connection's okay at the moment.
Yeah, that was weird.
Mm.
All of a sudden, it was like camera offline and everything closed.
Yep. Um. Oh, soft, but it still works at like in this part of the lineup, in my opinion.
Um,
I kind of dig their unpeated spirit.
mhm. Austin, I love your tasting notes. Fast vibe, scented moisturizer, floral, 100%. I also got
Moisturizer is a
like
good call.
big time moisturizer, actually. I also got like a candied lemon, candied ginger at the very beginning of my first
Hmm.
sip. Um, but it has like a really cool, like floral uh note to it that I like. It's
Yeah,
like very cool. Yeah, the unpeated
I'm
spirit I'm liking a lot.
yeah, I'm thinking rose hips. Is that sort of bath bomby note that's coming out for me?
Cool.
Mm. Yeah, Killer Spirit. I tend to go for the peated side, especially on younger whiskeys. Like I like specific like Ardnamurchan's unpeated profile is good, but their peated profile is what kills, in my opinion. Gonna have to see what my favorites are at the end of the lineup here, but so far I think the unpeated stuff just has a bit more going on for me right now.
It seems to be, at least for me, more expressive.
Yeah,
Um, it's kind of the pits of being a virtual is we can't just unmute everyone and have someone just yell, "No, you're wrong. This is my jam," is the
yeah,
Pete, but uh, that's what the votes are for. And
that's right. Well, we might be losing harmony a bit here again, but let's go on to number seven. So number seven is the Isle of Raasay gold medal peated sherry cask, and I think this one, if I remember correctly, they are using uh full full size sherry cask or full size sherry casks. Uh, this is peated Raasay, first matured and freshly charred and toasted, custom made Chinkapin oak cask, then finished in PX and Oloroso sherry. It is bottled at 60.1% alcohol. Here is that screen. Kind of like the cast strength there and the last one, there is a touch of that pine note to it, a little bit of herbaceousness on the nose for me. Maybe with the peat, there's just a touch of olive brine in there for me as well. Some red fruits coming from the sherry cask again. Definitely has some earmarks of what I saw in the sherry quarter cask there. Tom Rand says reminds me of Grandma's Lifesavers bowl. Some nice minty notes underneath. Yeah, good call again on that menthol. Reminds me of that Cheers episode where they all turn off the lights to see Vera with make the or bite into the mint lifesaver where it sparks or whatever. Mm. Really, pardon me, spicy for one thing and drying, but also has a ton of red fruit notes coming through with that dryness on the palate as well. A little bit of that strawberry compote I was getting before, some cherry notes as well. A touch of, well, a lot more wood. Back to red licorice, Samsahiri says, and pull and peel. Hickory for me, I believe as well. All good harmony. Did you have to reboot?
yeah, I just shut everything off and then reopened
Yeah,
everything.
all good. We've got you for a 5 minute window, I think, and that'll
Okay.
happen again, but we'll see. What
Yeah.
do you think of
It
number
says I'm
seven so
not.
far?
The nose is great.
Yeah,
It feels like spicy, and a lot more like deep red fruits. I got a little menthol
Hmm.
on the nose. Um, Something's happening there. It still kind of gives me those like sprucey kind of
Yeah,
resin notes, but I haven't
agreed.
tasted it.
Yeah, it's like pine sprigs with cranberry in there somehow.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I even can get that fresh cranberry note.
I think this one was the driest on the palate for me so far. Dry, but not like going into like that big chewy style, dry and spicy, more than anything else. And then the fruit comes through.
Mm. That red licorice note is fantastic.
Yeah. Tim says getting umami on the nose for number 7. There is something there. Like I was getting that olive brine note originally, but it's got like this mesquite character for me as well. Just a touch of like a barbecue rub going on. Still
I
has
can
that
see
curly note
that.
too. Maybe a bit of oregano going on in there with the spiciness.
It kind of reminds me of like the toppings that you're given to put on top of your oysters, and you get that one with like the green, what it's like kind of, I don't know. It's got like hot sauce, it's got like green
Yeah,
veg, fresh herbs.
yeah,
It's even got a little bit of that kind of, I don't know, with like Worcester smoke,
yeah.
Worcestershires
And
kind of vibe.
jalapenos, like jalapeno.
Kind of, but really tame, no seeds anywhere.
Yeah, just the essence of
Skin.
jalapeno, as they say.
I think it's jalapeno, but
Yeah.
yeah. I guess the
Nathan Moak
mild
says
version is
says
jalapeno.
Nathan Moak says Kansas City barbecue sauce. Uh, I don't know my American barbecue sauce styles enough, but I will take your word for that. What is it that sets Kansas City barbecue sauce apart? Is it they use mustard, they don't use mustard, or it's more spice driven? Because Carolina, I think, uses mustard, but it's like lighter, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're through asking for cheese buns at this point.
Yeah, we don't have Chelsea's cheese bun personality to get cheese buns out of Jeff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really like
Yeah, the
that last
underlying
one.
the red fruits come out a bit more with a few with a bit of water.
There's like a oversteeped red tea note, like your orange pico, kind of orange pico and spice, which is the weirdest combination I've ever said out loud.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's that orange pico chai.
I would be mad if someone gave that to me as a tea, I think. But it's 61% alcohol, it's okay.
Yeah, best tea ever. Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
sorry
Yeah,
I
there's
jumped out on you guys, but I'm ready to do this again if you
yeah.
are.
Let's go through the lineup as like a semi-speed round.
Sure.
And then we'll do the vote just to see how things have changed. Back to the lowest ABV of the night at 46.4% alcohol for the Raasay single malt. Still get a bit of that tapioca pudding note right now, just because it's like so soft right now
It's,
versus everything else.
I feel like I missed its peak. On
Yeah,
5, when I went back and smelled it, it was like so vibrant and juicy. And now it's still vibrant, but it feels like a little bit flat and like
yeah,
it's just a lot of wood. Nathan's giving me its flatlined sign.
yeah. Yeah, I
So this
think it's
is,
it's suffered from its bullying siblings that came after it. Um, the cheese notes have gone from like these more sort of like funky rinds into something like ricotta or like buffalo mozzarella, where it's like creamy and soft and just a little bit lactic. palate wise it's nice, but it just uh it suffers from not having the oomph of the rest of them.
Yeah, a lot of.
Back to number two, the NaSia Unpeated Ex-Rye
Yeah,
cask.
it feels feel that. Yeah.
Oh, your connection may be going there again, Harmony. Number two for me, there's like a hot chocolate powder on the nose right now. Hot chocolate, like a Christmas hot chocolate with like they use a little bit of like the candy cane note in there. Mm. Oh man. I I think I think I'm gonna get to the end, and even though the peated stuff is fun, I think it's the unpeated stuff that I'm really digging right now. That one with the fruit notes just shows really, really nicely.
It's
Still has that definite
spicy.
minerality. Sorry, go ahead, Harmony.
Sorry, I keep dropping out. I moved my internet to my phone.
Yeah.
Um, it feels really spicy. Like I'm actually now getting the jalapeno notes. It feels like
Hmm.
really, really warm and spicy, but you still get really nice like nice red apples or even golden apples. It's a little bit more softer, sweeter.
Yeah, I think
And
I agree. And it's almost like jalapenos meet angel food cake somehow. Like it's got
yeah,
this pastry note to it and this vanilla note.
yeah,
Austin says refreshing lime herbal on the palate on the
totally.
second one. Almost reminds me of the Auchentoshan SMWS bottlings
Oh,
we've been getting. I totally
very
agree.
much.
That is a really good call. Now I'm going to be getting Twizzler notes because I get that all the time on those Auchentoshans.
No, that's really great.
Yeah,
This might get a bottle. I might need to vote on a split bottle.
yeah. Back to number three. This is the NaSia Gold Medal Peated Chinkapin Oak. The peat's there, but it's almost ozone-esque, where it's like just the sensation of something has been burned in the area, but not the
Mhm.
smoke.
Yeah. And this is all very much reminded me of just like it's like camping
Yeah.
beach smoke style um of peat. Like it's not, I don't know. If I had to liken it to any peat, it might be some Kalilas, but that's also an easy cop out because they can
Mhm.
do anything.
It's got a like a smoky, like a slightly burnt, like blueberry cheesecake note on the palate right now for me that I quite like.
Mm.
Yeah, definite cheesecake notes with the texturally, even for me.
Yeah, I get the cheesy notes for sure. Yeah, man, this reminds me of some racias that I've had,
Yeah.
which is
Cool.
really cool. I
And
really
those
like
berry
that.
notes are really coming out well. A bit of currants and blackberry now.
Hmm.
Um, that one is showing nicely as well.
Yeah, blueberries and
Trying to
blackberries.
I'm trying to rank them as I go through, and I feel like this is just going to end up with them all dropping off the front of my desk as they come closer to me. Uh, let's go to the Cana Sherry Quarter Cask at number four.
Smells like more like creme brulee to me now than it did before.
Yeah,
Like deeper butterscotches and caramel.
yeah, creme brulee and custard for sure. Yeah, crazy how they're just going like sweet and decadent now.
Mm, mm. That's nice.
Yeah.
There's like a
The
sweet tobacco kind of vibe to it, like a nice cigar
cool.
smoke.
The peat has really softened up on this one a lot.
That's really nice.
To number five, the Cask Strength 2024. So this will now taste like the regular single malt did the first time around. I bet.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of does.
Yeah. Angel food cake vibes again. A little bit of marshmallows and icing sugar.
Um, I tried mustard powder and like
Mm.
canola fields.
Oh, canola's a good call. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It tastes like there's a 75% tariff on it from China all of a sudden too.
Um, yeah, I'm kind of digging this Humboldtii oak. It's, I kind of want
Oh,
barbecue.
you're on the Humboldtii or
Am I not? Oh,
the
sorry,
Cask
I'm on the
Strength?
cast strength.
Yeah,
Sorry. I'm looking at the Humboldtii bottle, but
yeah,
actually drinking the cast strength.
yeah,
But I really like this cast strength. It stands up.
yeah,
This is what I wanted one to be when we got back to it.
yeah. I
But
think just
actually,
because our palates are so acclimated to the 60 percenters now that like that's why we're perceiving that as sort of the single malt first time through.
well, I'm
Let's
not
go to
mad
that.
at the first one,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, I don't need all of my whiskeys to be a conversational whiskey. Like, sometimes I just need a
Mhm.
drink, and that's a great drink, you
Yeah.
know?
That's why they call it the dram with two A's. It's a
The
dram.
drab.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's go to that Humboldtii that you were eyeing.
Oh, is this the one? Did we say lime on this, or was the last one lime?
I think
They're both
lime
lime
and pine
now.
were mentioned on this one. And didn't it started, wasn't it Ex-Rye cast to, or am I thinking of a different one?
The different one. It's the last one that had
This
all
is full
three.
maturation. Yeah,
This is full maturation in Colombian Humboldtii oak.
you're right.
I still got lime and like matchsticks.
Yeah. Like a really clean sea kelp, like not like an iodine full on brine note.
Mm. There's a really nice sweetness to that.
So soft. Yeah.
It's,
So
it's very,
soft.
mm,
Like very tea-like going into like chamomile and lychee notes for me.
yeah, chamomile for sure. And I know we've talked about it. It kind of has like it's not as like chalky, but it reminds me of like chalky candies, like the
Yeah.
not the good brand named ones, like the crappy Lego ones that you're supposed to just
Yeah.
build Legos with.
Yeah.
Um,
It's 90% chalk,
it's
10%
just it's like
candy.
a chalky
Yeah.
fruit candy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Almost going into like a taffy territory at the same time.
it is kind of taffy. That's a better candy choice because it's not
Ooh.
completely mineral and chalky.
Yeah.
There's a Jura-esque minerality to a lot of those. Yes.
I think you're onto something there, Austin. Yeah. It's kind of like Jura meets Ardnamurchan in a way.
Hmm.
Super
That's
soft,
good
but I
too.
still really enjoy that one.
How am I supposed to rate these?
I know. Okay, last but not least.
All right.
It's really hard when you can only write one off on the second go round.
Yeah. Oh yeah. was it Austin who said those lime herbal
Yeah,
Macintosh vibes? You're so, so right. This is really good.
yeah. There's like a sour cherry or pie cherry note to this one as well on the nose.
Yeah, like
Oh
Pierce.
man,
Oh man, yeah,
that's
like
gone into like those full-on juicy Twizzler notes of Auchentoshan as well.
I love
But
the
yeah,
citrus kind of oils that it has. And
so
there's
if
also
there
like
was a peated Auchentoshan,
it's kind of going a little chocolatey on the finish for
yeah,
me as well.
yeah, there's a touch of like milk chocolate, like kind of going into a dark chocolate vibe on the nose even.
Yeah,
Mm.
shoot.
Well, I'm gonna start the vote, and Harmony and I will try and quickly figure out what our favorites are. I gotta say though that I didn't expect to come out like really enjoying Raasay's cast program as much as I do right now. I've kind of always kind of denigrated it, where I felt like they were kind of putting themselves or pitching them, holding their spirit into doing one thing. But that is definitely not the case. Like these are 7 official bottlings, no indie bottlings in here, and they show quite differently from each other. We had the pleasure of having an SMWS Raasay just last week that was fantastic as well and showed again vastly different than to this, which was really cool from a
Mhm.
Chinkapin oak barrel.
Yeah,
Uh, this is definitely a distillery to watch.
I agree, and I will continue watching. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it caught my eye because of the bottle, and so I bought
Yep.
it. It didn't hurt that it was like peated, because I'm
Mhm.
always eager to try peat. But the for the core single malt, the Raasay single malt, soon to be on our markets, the Dram. I thought it was a
Yep.
great just out of the gates, a really nice bottle.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It ends up being sort of an amuse-bouche for the rest of the tasting just because of the high alcohol, but it still works. It has its place.
yeah.
Um, I think taken in a vacuum, it's kind of like having a 40% alcohol bottling like before you go into Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottlings. In a way, it's not really fair.
No,
But
that would be my
Harmony,
best.
what are your top 3?
I'm not sure, but if you're like the couples on the screen arguing over a poll, we have a chat. You can always vote
Yeah,
against the other voter if you want
yeah,
and put your favorites in the chat. Although I'm loving the debate that's happening here. Um,
yeah.
my favorite is I don't okay.
I know. It's tough. You want me to go first?
No, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna say it. I
Okay,
really like the cast strength 2024. That
cool.
is solid and it stood up both rounds. It stood up. And then it's like my last pick is where I feel torn. I really love the unpeated rye,
Yeah,
but the very last peated cherry cask is also very good, which is what I wrote on the bottle, which you can't see. It's a heart, also very good. Uh,
nice.
yeah, it's hard to pick because I want to pick four, but I
Mm,
can't. What about
nope,
you?
not allowed. Yeah. I I loved them all. The unpeated ones blew me away again. My favorite is the unpeated Ex-Rye, NaSia. The second one we tried. Just the combination of like big flavor but poise that it has, where it's not like rough or jagged and it's stupidly drinkable at that ABV is just super impressive.
Mm,
Second place goes to the Quercus Humboldtii, the other unpeated dram. Really enjoyed that one. Very
yeah.
soft. Again, I think in the lineup, it doesn't get overtaken by anything else, even though it's soft, which is really cool. Having an unpeated dram after all those peated drams and it's still got flavor is impressive.
Yeah.
And then number three, I'm going to join you with the cask strength. There's a lot of other ones I could pick there, but the cask strength just for like a well-rounded or an all-round whiskey instead of just getting
Mhm.
like these bits and pieces of the casks.
Yeah.
I think it shows off what they're doing with the cask program incredibly well. So kudos to
I
them.
agree. Going back to that unpeated rye cask, it has like effervescence fruit to it
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Reminds me kind of like a ginger ale or that you
yeah,
poured some 7 Up into.
yeah. And just a little bit of Minute Maid, just to give it some energy. Yeah, just a
You
touch.
ruined it. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. No,
Um,
thank you, Evan. This was really fun. Thank you all for joining us for this Raasay
yeah.
tasting. Yeah,
Here
that's
are the revolt results. Yeah, this Raasay
Ooh,
tasting, it was well overdue, and you were the champion behind it, getting it done there, Harmony. So I'm glad you did. Um,
I know
I
how to bully my way around.
I am
Mm.
definitely guilty of kind of foo-fooing this distillery because of what they did, as I said, with their different cask. But man, maybe they're onto something, and maybe we'll see it happen again because they do have they are in plans to do a distillery in Campbelltown called the Machrihanish Distillery as well, the same ownership. And the plan so far, although I mean they haven't struck ground on that one yet, but they do have permission to go ahead as far as I know. But they're planning on using a similar cash program if they do get that one up and running too. So
Yeah.
to be continued on that side of things.
Mhm.
For the votes, first favorite of the night, the cast strength took it with 3 votes. Second place was a Quercus Humboldtii. I'm not upset
Cool.
at any of those choices. Second favorite of the night, the gold medal peated sherry cask. Yeah, again, fantastic balling. Uh,
Okay.
and he seems to be killing it with his choices here, so that's cool. Um, and then second place was the NaSia Peated Ex-Rye cask and the Cana sherry quarter cask.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Third question is the correct pronunciation of Raasay is Raasay took it. Raasay got 1 vote. And then whichever way it's meant to be pronounced, Evan is definitely wrong, got 1 vote as well. I think you're all right on that one, no matter what you chose. So good for you guys.
Mhm. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. Stay tuned. We didn't talk about future tastings or events, but I will say we have a sale coming up late August.
Yeah,
So maybe keep your eye on that sale and pick up a couple of Raasays so you don't have to choose which one's your favorite. You can have them all. And
that's
hopefully
right.
we'll see you at the next tasting.
Yeah. Thank you,
All right.
Harmony. Great job.
Thanks, Evan. Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
everybody else as well.